Marlena,
Yeah?
didn't you go to the National Black Theater Festival in 2022?
Yeah.
And aren't you an inaugural Mabel P. Robinson Emerging Artist Award winner?
Yes.
Well, what have you been up to?
Oh, tons. Lots.
Where are you now?
That's classified, but I can tell you some of the highs and lows I had at the festival.
Maybe share some behind the scenes footage?
Okay. And I'll also share something that I definitely didn't know going into the festival and what you definitely should know if you're gonna apply. Hey everybody, I'm Marlena. So before I get into my thoughts about the National Black Theater Festival, I just want to talk about the Holy Ground National Black Theater Festival anthology. It is beautiful. The book is beautiful. We were able to get a copy at the festival. This is one of the highlights. I love this book. It has plenty of plays and not just your typical mama on the couch plays, so to speak. There are other things. And there are playwrights by people from the festival, both past, present, and some of the people that are brand spanking new. And one of my favorite things is in the beginning of this anthology, I'm gonna bring it up here. I have a note here from Miss Mabel P. Robinson. We got to talk a little bit about how I got the award, what I applied for, my process, and to make a long story short, when I was applying for the award, I ended up sending it to all my friends first. I sent it to everyone in my program first that I thought would be great for this. I said, hey, audition for this, send your stuff in, whatever you want, send it. I told her that after doing all of that and sending it to everyone else I knew and doing a breakdown, later on I found out I got it. And I was really thankful and excited. We did get to have a one-on-one with Miss Robinson later on for a documentary that I don't know what the status of is, but I hope to God that you guys get to see it and you guys get to see our conversation with her. But here she wrote, "To Marlena, thank you for your giving spirit. You must be the voice and support you are for others. Be it for yourself. You have much to offer." And you can just tell, one of the, I think, really cool things about Miss Robinson is that you can tell she wants to give back to the community and she wants to give back to young people. She was one of the people that stood out to me for very obvious reasons, but also stood out to me for the advancement of young people in the arts, and she genuinely cares. I think that the awardees, the next group of awardees, when you get to meet her, you're going to be so excited. She is just so kind and so empathetic and has so much integrity in her contributions to the entertainment industry and in mentorship and leadership. This anthology is beautiful. There's actually some pictures of her here. But again, I love that she said that. I do have a tendency to give and give and give. And sometimes I have a harder time saying, no, this is for me. And so even this video, the way that I'm doing this video, the depth that I'm going into and the way that I'm talking about my experiences is because I want someone who is like me, someone who, you know, might look like they enjoy sensory overload, to know that it's a lot and it was hard, and to speak up and to keep saying what you believe in, and to speak up when you don't like something, and to say, hey, this is uncomfortable and we were told this and we didn't get this. To say those things. I think that if you know how to advocate for yourself, this experience could be for you, but there are some changes that need to be made on the organizer's end. Because again, if you put yourself in the shoes of the awardees, they're brand new. None of us knew what was going on, and you'll hear more about that really soon, but I just wanted to share and show you some photos from the book. Again, they're beautiful. I love them. It's a great anthology of fantastic plays, so get yourself a copy. Before I say all that I'm about to say in this video, I want to preface this by saying that I did have a good time at the National Black Theater Festival. It might sound like my sentiments are different. Really, my frustration comes with communication. It's always been a point of frustration for me when people do not communicate the way that I expect them to. Now, granted, this video is coming out a little bit later than I thought. Now that's on me. However, the things that I'm going to talk about that happened to me during the festival and stuff like that, this is just my take on the communication and how I felt and all these things. I think that I was able to make the most of it. I leveraged it, and through my fear and terror, I was able to make connections. And if you're any of those connections, hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I think the National Black Theater Festival, in all, is a fantastic work of spectacle, history, entertainment, legacy, art and culture, right? You cannot argue that. You look at any media they got out there, and that's very plain to see. I think executing that and helping new people understand that is going to be one of the strongest and most helpful things that this festival can do. And I look forward to seeing those advancements. So if you love this video, drop me a comment, say hello, contact me any of the ways in the description, and I will see you at the end of the video. I did have a lot of bits and jokes planned for this video, and I was gonna make it a lighthearted good time, and you know what, it still is, but I think I was trying to go over and over and over some of the things I wanted to say about my experiences at NBTF, because truth be told, while it was a great experience, there was a lot of new things learned. A lot of that I can attribute to my sense of discovery and wonder and just natural sense of curiosity that comes with when I'm in a new place and when I'm determined to learn something new and when I'm determined to find some information out. However, I do want to address some of the things that I feel like kind of left me and the other awardees out to dry, so to speak. None of us, and I mean nobody, had been to the National Black Theater Festival before. I'm not even sure if all of us had heard of it. I know I did not. And when you're in a new environment, when you are thrust into something very new, you don't know what the traditions are, you don't know what the people are like, you don't know what is the status quo. Not having adequate time to talk about XYZ things, to know what we need to do, to know what the dress code is, heck, even how to speak to people that are very prolific in the industries that we respect and want to be in, is a detriment. It does more harm than good. This is not even touching upon environments that might have been too much, conversations I felt probably should have been had before we stepped foot into Winston-Salem, and just as a whole, lots of information was left out. One of my hugest critiques is not knowing really important things, that were happening at the festival. For example, you can look up the history as much as you can, but it's not the same as being there. Let me be very clear. The National Black Theater Festival is a spectacle. It is entertainment. It is brava. It is encore. All of those things. And I think that's fantastic. I think from an entertainment perspective, from an artist perspective, that's great. I love it. I was blown away at Chester Gregory's performance. My God. It was really good. Okay, there were a few things. Seeing Becoming Othello was a very stuck in the brain moment for me, because this artist was fantastic. She was phenomenal. Okay, I really respect and love when people get to do what they love, and I get to see that live. I think that live theater is fantastic and irreplaceable, and I love being around it. I think that the execution of how we were able to get to events, how to see the shows, the ticketing system, for example, I think it was just all really jumbled up. I know we weren't the only people that had problems with it. And I know that the schedule wasn't just unclear to me. So not knowing where things are, again, in a new city, I had never been there before. I'm going to speak for myself. Didn't know where I was going. Half of my camera time and my phone battery was dedicated to Google Maps because I didn't know where I was going. I think I missed a bus at one point, terrified, didn't know how to get back to the hotel. And we didn't really get to meet our point of contact until I think the second day, and that's just due to some of us coming from different parts of the country. So again, the other awardees, very talented human beings, support them, love them, check them out, and we're kind of thrust into this whirlwind, so to speak. We didn't really know what was going on. There's got to be some briefing period. I think because I arrived on the day 2 of 2 that I think the awardees were coming in, I didn't have the time to even meet our point of contact until I got off the plane. I didn't know who my roommate would be till very, very close to the departure date. I found out, but we hadn't met each other. Since I've never been there before, everything that I'm hearing is it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be huge. This is a big deal. The Black community is really, really rallying behind this. It felt like we were being put in a terrarium that was already moving, There weren't a lot of people that stopped and said, hey, you look like a fish out of water. Here's what's going on right now. And I know that's because everyone was incredibly busy. I get that. I think that if you're going to start an inaugural award with new people in a new environment, all of which have never attended the festival before, so there's a lot of the unknown. I'm someone who likes information. I will find information wherever I can get it, however I can find it. I'm getting the information. I'm asking questions. I've personally dealt with being put down for asking a lot of questions for a very long time. I know what that looks like when I ask a question and someone is tired of me asking it. I also know what that sounds like via email. I also know what being ignored looks and sounds like in person and through technology. And I am sorry to say that I felt that during my time at the festival. After a certain point, there was like a grace period of asking questions, and then there was kind of, you're still asking that? Oh, you don't know what's going on? That was the vibe I was getting. There was also a sentiment before we were announced at the gala, which again is fantastic. No notes on the gala. 0 notes. It's beautiful. Okay? You look at the trailer, you're thinking this is a good time. And it is a good time. It would have been very helpful for me as somebody who sometimes I have problems with too many sights and sounds at one place. Too many. That does bother me. You know, not everybody can acclimatize themselves to that very quickly. Not everybody can acclimatize themselves to big crowds very quickly. There's a perception that all entertainers can deal with these things at a whim, and sometimes you have to. But if there's a way that you can inform and acknowledge that this is going to happen until the second that we get in, that would be great, because I did not know the scope and the volume of the gala until we were right behind the doors, and the stage manager looks at us and goes, "Don't forget to smile." And I'm thinking, what? The doors open, and it's like a cornucopia, cacophony of everything. And like I said, everything was amazing and fantastic, but it was so much. And for someone who is brand spanking new, I mean, I'm talking from the plane, you got no idea. You can only glean so much from videos. And at that point, I don't even think I had seen a trailer of what the gala had looked like. I didn't know what the purple carpet was. Personally, I don't think any of us knew how big the colors purple and black were at this festival until I was getting the looks of my life wearing a navy blue polka dot romper. I did not know that was that was a big no. And people were dressed to the nines, and I loved that. Okay, people were wearing their purple. I loved it. Did not know how big of a deal it was till I was off the plane. Just another major point of communication that would have been nice to know. I was asking questions. I was trying to figure out what I needed to figure out, but there's a burden of knowledge that we don't have. And again, as a new person, feeling like a fish out of water in an event that's supposed to be connecting for emerging artists, it's supposed to be like a gap between us and the ability to connect with people who have been in the industry for a while versus not. There were things we needed to know. I did my best to ask as many questions as I could. I pushed through the absolute terror. Okay, and I was very glad to meet people. I got videos with people, which I was very excited about, and I ran home and showed my mom. I had to swallow all sorts of fear. I'm not saying I'm new to swallowing fear. I'm not saying I'm new to putting myself in uncomfortable situations, but in an event this big, at this level, at this time, there needed to be some information brought and got. And that's my biggest critique of the festival and the collaborations that we had with other conferences. The communication wasn't there. There is no doubt in my mind that this festival has been very successful and prolific for many reasons. I think that these reasons are valid. I think that the artists are valid. They're talented. You can see it in the anthology. You can see it in the photos, in the press conferences. It's big and it's grand. One of my constant battles as a young artist of color, you know, sitting in the position that I'm in, and the skin and the bones and the body that I'm in, is that sometimes people assume because I'm young that maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. And you just need to learn the ways that we've had for a while. And that's fine. And that's fine. I don't mind being educated. At the National Black Theater Festival, there were a number of people who you could tell they had been to this festival for I don't know how many years. I had an experience where an older woman was sitting next to me, and she essentially gave me the impression that because I was young and that I was new and she had never seen me before, you must just be here for, so you must be a spectator or something. I'm telling you that was the vibe that I got, and I'm telling you that was the inflection that I received. It wasn't until a very kind woman who did know the reason I was at the festival, because there were very kind people. Okay, this person, I believe they were in the minority, but there was a very kind woman who was one of the publicists for something else, and she, in a strange coincidence, stroke of luck, she knew that I was one of the awardees, but I didn't really know how to talk about the award because, again, I had never been at this festival before. I don't even know, if I mention this award, people will know what I'm talking about. A lot of people didn't until the gala, and we were actually announced as, hey, we were an inaugural emerging artist for this award, named after Mabel P. Robinson. Then people were like, oh, you're one of these people. I see. But there was no communication. I don't know if it was supposed to be a surprise, which is also fine. But the point is prior to that happening, the looks were being looked. Okay, the eyeballs were being up down. You know what I'm trying to say, and that's hard. My other critique is that I saw very few younger people that I could immediately connect to at this festival. It's very apparent to me that people who are established and been in the industry a number of decades, years, regularly attend the festival, and that's fine. But again, as brand new artists, 6 brand new artists with no points of contact, mind you. It was by stroke of absolute luck that I actually found somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody I knew. But if I hadn't have sat there and talked to that person, I wouldn't have known that. And if I was intimidated by kind of the age difference, it's hard. And it's easier said than done to say, well, just go talk to people. We'll just go say hi. Don't be scared. That's difficult. That is so difficult. I have videos of very sensory overload spaces, and you don't see very many young people. You don't. And it's hard when you're standing around legends of an industry, let alone the reason you're there. Your award is named after a legend, a pioneer in entertainment and bridging the gap in education and mentorship and leadership. And you want to say, yes, I can do that. And people who know me also, this is not just well, she just seems a little shy. If you know me, you know that I will jump at an opportunity, and it might take a few deep breaths, but I'll talk to somebody. I'll learn something, I was intimidated. And why was I intimidated? All 7 days of the 6 days. Yeah, it was a week. It's hard. By the time I got to day 5 and 6, we, the awardees, we had to cling together like glue. I mean, that's it. Our common experience was we're brand new and terrified at this huge, prolific event. And while the exposure and the connections are fantastic, knowing how to communicate, even in the introduction, which again, I'm thankful for those hours in a room. I'm thankful that we had some one-on-one time. We did have a little bit of one-on-one time with different people at the festival and Miss Robinson. I am grateful and thankful for that. I think that was fantastic. We needed more time than that. 7 days is not enough time for someone who is brand new with no prior information. And I'm talking like you're gathering all the information you can. And again, people who know me, you ask the other awardees, I also made sure I was doing my homework on who was there. And I still thought, this is a lot. This is a lot. There was one day that I just had to sit down. Someone said, what show you're going to? I said, I gotta figure out what's going on what day right now. So I'll get back to you. And not only that, I wanted to learn the history of the city that we were in. I wanted to learn the history of the art and stuff like that. And we were supposed to be influencers. So some of you might have seen videos of me sharing my time at the festival. Well, that was hard to do among the meet and greets and all that. And then also not feel like I'm intruding on people's space. Because here I am, a young person with my phone, my TV phone. I have a Samsung Galaxy. It's huge. It's like the size of my big head, and I'm like, yeah, could you just wave to me? I look crazy, people are like, if they don't understand why I'm here and why I'm doing that, I just look like a lost child roaming the streets of Winston-Salem. Okay, I didn't want to come across that way. But the people I did speak to, I tried to preface it with, hey, I'm a part of this award. It's for emerging artists to connect with people here at the festival. And there's 2 more collaborations that we get to get. But it was hard and it was difficult. And that's my hugest critique. If you apply for this award, and organizers of the festival, if you're watching, and I know you are, hijacking, please communicate with the artists thoroughly about the traditions. The walk at the end of the festival, had no idea what that was about. The purple carpet, the legacy of the founders, things like that. Sit down and talk to them. You know, while I appreciate the baby in the bathwater approach to learning sometimes, not everybody functions well. Not everybody knows how to approach conversations about connections and job opportunities. I was extremely lucky, and again, I attribute my natural curiosity and my dogged determination to do things. I got to read with Terrence Spivey and Eyes of the Bridge by Janine Madison. Thank you for that opportunity. I got to talk to Mr. Byrd. I got to talk to Lisa Arundel, who actually held me by the shoulders and said, do not be scared, because I know for a fact that she saw me in a corner terrified. I was trying to keep it together, but my eyes were getting big, and I was like, oh, Marlena, you're doing the quarters again. You're doing quarters. But I was like, there's too many people. There's too many sounds. I can't hear myself talk. If that documentary ever comes out, there's a video of me screaming the answer to someone's question because I couldn't hear myself in the room. It was too much. Please sit down with the artists and educate them about the festival and, what are the things that are important to you. Maybe talk to the people who have gone to the festival for X amount of years and say, hey, there's going to be some young people here, some new people here. Give them some grace. Maybe don't look at them like they're lost children wandering the zoo. Maybe reach out, engage them in conversation, because that gap, as someone who's new in the industry and seeing veterans, is so hard. I think I underestimated, even with my relentless curiosity, and again, I'm annoying about it. If you know me, I underestimated it. I was very extremely, and again, I feel so thankful that I got to talk to these people. I never thought in a million years I'd be 5 feet away from Lisa Arundel ever in my life. Wow. Don Lewis. Wow. Okay, but I also believe that even with speech training, that's hard. It's difficult. So please give these people some grace, give them some instruction. And when they send you emails asking a million questions, respond to them. My extension to this is, if this award continues with partners at other festivals, know that you're putting people in the same place. There are people that have never been to SCTC before. There are people that have never been to Black Theater Network before. And they're gonna have questions. They're gonna wanna know what's going on. It's difficult. It is hard. And I think that these people need help and they need some grace. So just inform people. And if you're applying for this, don't be scared. Go for the opportunity. Do it. Okay? Do the opportunity, because you deserve to have doors open for you. I'm not saying to be scared of the new opportunity and like the new people you're going to meet, but also there needs to be a level of instruction and collaboration beyond the 8 hours that you get off the plane on day 1.5. It's not possible in a new city, in a new state. Like I said, you can figure it out, but it took me about 3 days to get the lay of the land. It's quick. By that time, there's already 20 shows going on, talkbacks, everything. There's 6 of us. Not everybody can attend everything. God forbid you get sick or you have a panic attack. You've missed out on, it's over, So just give those people some time and some grace. I enjoyed the connections, but it's hard to come back from that because not everybody understood why I was there, and I didn't have enough information to convey why I was there. So we're just both looking at each other. My last and final plea is that if the collaborations between other festivals are going to continue with this award, that the festivals are all in communication as to what is going on. And that communication is clear and concise to the awardees. We did not have clear communication. And we deserve that. I think that something like this, where you get people from different parts of the country who may have never been in these places before, that communication is vital, it is crucial. I think that it is not okay to have people doing things at the last minute. But if you are a future awardee and you want to apply for this, please reach out to me. I will tell you my experience. I would love to. I think that the character development and the connection that we had to these people in the industry to get to meet them and for them to say, hey, it's fantastic that you're here, soak it all in, do as best as you can. Everyone who told me that, thank you. Everyone who said, take your time, thank you. Because when you're in an environment like that and it's going quick every day, it's go to this event and see these people, yes, I'm ready. Can I just have a minute to get some water before I pass out? Because the way it was a lot for me. And I love this stuff. I love this stuff. But I needed a second. So there were some things I was like, hey, I will see you maybe 30 minutes after it starts, because woo. And if anyone's out there and they're thinking, well, Marlena, that's just the industry. Well, that's just how it is. And you should just be able to go a mile a minute. I'd love to have a chat with you. Let's talk. Let's talk about the side effects of doing that and not taking care of yourself. It's not good. And the people I got to connect with, they were very kind and gracious. And the thing is, they all took their time. They all took their time and they said, hey, I can sense some nervous, terrified energy from you. And guess what? We can slow down. Let's just take a walk for a second. And I think that needs to be echoed through the communication from start to finish. So if you're watching this, thank you for learning a little bit about the festival. Thank you for taking a look at my videos. And if you have any questions, again, let me know. You can contact me any of these ways that will be around here somewhere. And I look forward to seeing the new awardees. And again, take your time, do your research, and organizers, reach out, communicate, and have a sit down before it all gets said and done, because it is a lot. Okay, bye.